what's going on, everyone out there at Golden Sky Radio? We are now coming to you live and amplified all over the world. And I wanted to come on here today and give you my first ever show here on Golden Sky Radio. And the show is Inner Champions Podcast. Some of you might ask, what is Inner Champions Podcast? What does it mean? Well, we are hoping to break that down for you today. So, the main background of Inner Champions Podcast is, for those of you that don't know, I am a coach. I have been coaching for over 19 years consecutively now, at the youth level, at the high school level, at the semi-pro level, etc. And I have a lot of knowledge, not just within coaching, but within public speaking and the other things really that you would never suspect you would cross when being a longtime coach. And so I want to come on here and not just share my coaching experiences with you, but with sharing those coaching experiences with you, I want to take the time to dive a little deeper within the knowledge that I've gotten from coaching and what it taught me and has taught me to this day of more or less having the motivation to gather individuals together and create a common goal to learn the game, or rather it be in football, or rather it be in youth basketball, and sometimes high school basketball for that matter, and all collectively learn how to win. And this is just the first episode of many episodes of many different shows on how I can hopefully guide you on not just winning at a particular sport, but for example, winning at this particular platform. I know Golden Sky Radio is fairly new, and we as a team are doing a lot of things behind the scenes that unfortunately you listeners will never have the ability to find out. You will find out as we share more details and we get more comfortable in doing such a thing. So it's really nice to gravitate and learn from like-minded people, because if you surround yourself with like-minded people, you will then ultimately want to have the same outcome as the ultimate goal of, for example, getting Golden Sky Radio on their feet and up and moving and running. And so with that being said, I want you to understand that there is going to be a multitude of different examples, different things that I might play for you here across the airwaves for you to hopefully gravitate to. Hopefully we can build a big community out of this, and hopefully that we can all just have a common goal of wanting just to be better in general, better people, better human beings, better husbands, better spouses, better people in relationships, or at the end of the day, better athletes, because that is where my podcast stems from. Of everybody wanted to know, what does the coach do when he gets home? What does the coach do when he brainstorms about a play? What does the coach do behind the scenes? And so that is the ultimate thing about the Inner Champions podcast, and I'm excited to bring not a new light to Golden Sky Radio, but a revamped light. Now that I've been doing a podcast on my own, I'm willing to and wanting to branch out and hopefully reach more people, because the more people we reach here on Inner Champions Podcast is ultimately what we are looking to do, or my ultimate goal is to hopefully get 1 to 2 to 10 of you, maybe 20 of you one day respond to a message, respond to something, and we can just be on the same wavelength. That is very important to me. Another thing that is very important to me that you will eventually hopefully understand with the more episodes that you listen to here on Golden Sky Radio of the Inner Champions podcast is the level of energy that I hope to bring to you each and every single week. For those of you that know me, I live on said level of high energy. For those of you that don't know me, I live on high energy. I prosper off of, some negativity, and then I turn that negativity into positivity, which then turns the positivity into great energy, and then I feed that energy into my teams, my players, and we perform and we do what is expected of us because the ultimate coach here has standards, has ways of believing and selling winning culture to his team and to his teams. And I've been lucky and fortunate enough to have, especially at the youth level, 8 consecutive seasons of a winning record. One as an assistant and 7 as a head coach. And again, with that winning record, though, I take it and I apply it to my life. Not just I apply it to life, but I apply it to my surrounding life. I apply it to some of my friends, if not all of my friends, because again, like I said earlier, the like minded people that you can surround yourself with, that especially we do here at Golden Sky Radio, we ultimately have the ultimate goal of we want this to be successful in A, B, C, and D ways. And we collaborate and we converse and we game plan and we brainstorm and we throw different ideas at each other. And just like if I was starting anything else, I go into it with a vision, I go into it with a purpose. And that's the other thing that I want to kind of branch off here for a second to let you guys know is that anything that you want to accomplish or you want to start in life, that you always have to have a foundation. Golden Sky Radio came to me with their foundation, with their vision, with their do's and don'ts and why's not, and their passion. More importantly, I think, is what sold me was their passion, their dedication, their heart to wanting to do this for more than just themselves. They are not about themselves, and I could not be any more grateful for this beautiful opportunity to help spread the word of Golden Sky Radio and not only what we can do as a community, but what we can do together as a collective group of even some of you that might be listening on the outside can ultimately retain and apply and just appreciate the fact of what Golden Sky Radio is bringing to you as a community, as a platform, as a unit. It is very unified. It is very team build like. But with that, we all work together and we want to have the same common goals for Golden Sky Radio. We want to continue to see it succeed and to continue to see it prosper and develop. And I know some of you are going to sit here and say, well, this is about Inner Champions podcast. But at the end of the day, more importantly, it is about Golden Sky Radio and it prospering and developing and growing. And as much as this is all about the Inner Champions podcast and my own show and my own episodes or whatever the case may be, but I also want to let you guys know on an inside type because we are building the Golden Sky Radio platform from the ground up, and I want to have these episodes as remembrances of where we started and where we will become and where we will succeed and where we will get to. And more importantly, as I have the time for my name as the Inner Champion podcast to shine, it's about giving back to my community. It's about giving back to others that have once fed into me. And I will never be able to repay Golden Sky Radio for the time, the dedication, the desire they've given me, not just here, but on other platforms that we cross paths before and we regulate and communicate as human beings. And it's just a phenomenal thing to be able to have a really close knit contact with Golden Sky and being able to collaborate and develop something out of nothing and to continue to show our haters and continue to show the people that don't think that it will go anywhere. But I will have sleepless nights and make sure that this platform is successful in its very own way. Just like anything in life, it's going to be very unique. This will not hit everybody in the right way, in the wrong way. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we are here to continue to feedback, give back to our communities in every way possible. And the bigger part of the Inner Champions podcast is just going to be very wealth building. It's going to be very disciplined. And it is going to teach you, again, not just about coaching, not just about the coaching life, but it will hopefully continue to give you the structure that you are looking for on, maybe the do's and don'ts about whatever, relationships, the do's and don'ts about social media, the do's and don'ts about this or that. It doesn't matter what it could be. I am planning to have a topic a week and then spend approximately 30 minutes to an hour. I know pushing it on an hour would be kind of tough because of the level of retention that we are trying to mitigate and keep you guys involved. But at the same time, I think 30 minutes a week of, just showing how powerful you can be as a person, as long as you put your mind to it. Because you got to remember, when you're in ultimatums like this, whether if you're struggling in life or you're going through whatever you're going through or could be going through, you just got to refer back to that game plan. You got to refer back to that, what's the foundation. Once you put forth the foundation, then you can, it's like building a house. Then you can put up the walls. Then after the walls, you can put up some furniture. And again, that's kind of really where the Inner Champion podcast is hopefully going to take you. It will, like I hopefully just be your guide in your everyday life. It'll give you a place to come to each week and hopefully learn something new on maybe just on learning how to accomplish minor goals. And then maybe, like I said before, we can kind of collaborate and elaborate with each other, and maybe you guys can think of topics for me to discuss. You guys can put me or ask me like a Q&A type of deal. It's not going to be real structured. It's just going to be me and what I've experienced through life, and I'm going to give you basically my life story, because I think behind every person has a story, and Golden Sky Radio has given me the opportunity to continue to voice my story and continue to utilize their platform to reach several thousand people. And I couldn't be any more grateful for this opportunity. So I hope that you guys can gather around and just be along for the journey. And I hope that I don't wear you out too soon, too fast, and we can just continue to work with one another and build off each other. And, eventually, like I said, over time, collaborate, and I can get your guys' feedback of what you like, what you don't like. And at the end of the day, just give you my nuggets. I know that's a big word out in the world of 2026 of just give you my nuggets of what I've done, what I remember, and what I applaud myself for doing. When what aren't the good times? What are some of the bad times that Coach has got himself into? And I'm really grateful to be able to share this with you and express with you a little bit about my life. And I've had plenty of other places of doing this. But it's a little bit different when a friend reaches out to you and says, "Would you mind coming on my platform and showing or sharing your story?" And there's a lot to Coach. Some of you know it, some of you don't, and most of you that don't know it will soon find out. So I hope that you can tune in for weeks to come, because this isn't just going to be one episode. It's not going to be 10 episodes. It's not going to be 30 episodes. I'm hoping to set out a goal to have over 100 episodes on here. And I hope you guys are along for the ride, and you can get your notebooks out each and every week and can take some notes and just write down some of your personal thoughts. And again, use those notes as reflectors, reflect back onto them. And hopefully somewhere down the line, I can cross a path of you being able to retain a note, you being able to retain something, and just come here to not necessarily listen to me and what I have to say, but at the same time, come here and listen to something that can regulate with you, because I think that's really where, and I want to take a minute and talk about it, is where I got something very valuable out of the Real Talk with Jordan podcast, and really kind of what inspired me to start my own podcast is that she inspired other people without realizing. I think that she inspired other people to do such a thing, because again, most people say, you not necessarily have a face for radio, but you have a voice for radio, or however that saying goes. And it's just, and I don't want to really get into it too much too quick, because this is only show number one. There will be several shows, I think, that will kind of just break this down, and this will be an ultimate like storyline or a topic. But I really want to applaud the Real Talk with Jordan podcast on just them staying true to themselves. That everybody has their own character. She is not ashamed. She is not shy of her character. She really just gives it to you like it is. She doesn't sugarcoat shit. And excuse my French for on here for the first time, but I will not sugarcoat shit. What you get from me will be nothing but honesty and upfrontness, and maybe sometimes a little bit very blunt. But that's the character I am. That's the person who I am, and I will not allow that to be changed. I will not allow that to be regulated. With all due respect, I will kind of censor myself at some points, but understand you are getting a coach that is very true to himself. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and you're gonna get a very realistic situations that I've put myself through. I've been through. And I really want you guys to be able to reflect on that, because if you, some of you out there have put yourself in some situations, some very awkward situations, I want you to be able to reflect the most positive way. In order to do that, you have to, as the person behind the mic, just be willing to open up and share your experiences. And that's, I think, really where this comes with, Golden Sky Radio, of just giving me the opportunity to express myself the way that they've seen me over the past few years express myself, and just really gravitate to hopefully a group of you out there that can really understand, I guess, my point of view. But at the same time, I really don't want to make it about myself. I want to give you my experiences, and then I want you to put my experiences into your everyday play and see if there's any similarities. And if there is, great. If there's not, great. And if you could take one thing away from one or 1,000 of these episodes, if I get that fortunate and lucky to do 1,000 plus episodes, then I've done something here. And that is my ultimate goal here at Golden Sky Radio and on the Inner Champions podcast, is if you could just take home one thing, if you can relate to one thing. I think I've done my due diligence. Like I said, behind me and behind the Inner Champions podcast, there is more of a story. Like I said, I don't want to spend a multitude of time of, on the first episode of me just like kind of, what do they call it? Trauma dumping on you, or just giving you all my nuggets at one time. So I'm kind of just trying to space myself out. You guys just take the time to learn and grasp what I sound like behind a microphone. I have definitely gotten better. When I started this in 2025 on just opening my own podcast and doing things on my own, I was very unsure of what I was doing, where I was going with it, and I just kind of let it run its course. And I guess that's what you could say I've kind of going to do with it here on Golden Sky Radio. Kind of let Inner Champion podcast run its course, but at the same time not let it run its course, because I'm more experienced, I'm more confident behind a microphone now. And so I think this is kind of more or less a restart for me, and kind of just more, be more elaborate, be more open with you guys here on Golden Sky Radio, be more open with myself, say things that I necessarily wouldn't regret saying, but at the same time, let you guys know how I actually feel as a person. Because with coaching and with what I've done in my life, there is a lot that not necessarily that has been hidden, but kept private. And I think more or less a lot of it's time for it to come out. And I really want to be able to share my life experiences with you, and what I've done as a coach for 19 plus years, what I've seen as a coach. And like I said before, it's not necessarily going to be based on just strictly coaching. So please don't get the idea of I'm trying to make you become a good coach or a great coach or a championship coach. But a lot of my references will be coming from a coach's background. When you've had a career of 19 years plus, and really that's kind of all that you know, but not that you know it. What more can you do without giving kind of those references, or kind of giving that baseline? So understand, you're just going to get someone with a true mindset, with a true passion, with true desire. I hope to bring the same level of intensity and energy and effort to every show. It is going to be a challenge, because I am hoping to do the weekly shows and have enough time to brainstorm and bring you good quality content to absorb, to listen to take notes on. It is not going to be easy, but I'm always up for a great challenge. So I'm glad that Golden Sky Radio is challenging me to, continue to broaden and prosper within myself and make myself be more out there and put more of my own level of content out there and available for you guys to listen to and gravitate to and just absorb. And it's just, I think it's just going to be one of those opportunities that's not just good for me, because at the end of the day, I've gotten enough in life. I'm pretty content with where I'm at in life, and I am just one of those people that continues to like to give back at any level. I also am a kind of a mental health coach in a sense lately. I have about 4 different friends who are going through some crises and need some advice and guidance. So that has kind of been my later calling in life for the past year and a half. And I won't, quote unquote, trauma dump on you, but I will give you some of those scenarios, some of those situations on how that has actually made me grow more as an individual adult, as a human being. I never thought that I could put myself in a therapy role, but the more I look at coaching, in a sense, that's kind of where you are, because more or less of the game that you coach, you actually coach, just what happens in someone's life that that you see every day. There's 90% of you or 90% of the world out there that maybe assume that coaching is just coaching. You just show up, you throw a thing of footballs out and say, okay, go catch some balls. But with coaching and with just mentoring in general, there's more than just the word coaching. There's all walks of life that you see. Some are great, some are good, some are bad, some are ugly. And I think that's really the mindset of this podcast is just, you're going to see the good, you're going to hear the good, you're going to feel the bad, you're going to see the bad, and you're going to get some of the ugly. But with some of the ugly, you can turn over a new leaf, and you can, just give me 30 minutes of your day once a week, to just learn, just to absorb, just to maybe, like I said, take some nuggets. Some of the nuggets may hit for you. I'm trying to also come through your speakers and come into your homes and just give you the same level of energy, rather if you're at home listening, rather if you're in the car listening, rather if you're on the application listening, wherever you might be. I want to be able to bring you that level of just energy, that level of confidence, that level of motivation, that level of just drive, just desire to want to, let's just simply say, get up. I know for a lot of the people in this day and age, they struggle getting up. So we may have a topic where it just talks about getting up. I love that there's no right or wrong answer for the Inner Champions podcast. We could take it one way, we could take it another way, we could take it up, we could take it down. It is the beauty within itself. And at the end of the day, I want you guys to understand what you take out of this is what you're going to get out of it. So if you don't sit down for 30 minutes each week and just hopefully gravitate or listen to something that I have to share with you, please remember that I am not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to, I'm here to guide you. I'm here to give you those tips and those tricks and those nuggets and everything in between. And if you want to eventually feel comfortable enough, reach out one-on-one and ask me, how am I such a winning coach, or how do I do this in my life, whatever it might be. I'm willing to share those with you. And as much as I can, 30 minutes a week, I'm willing to share them with you right here on Golden Sky Radio. And that's the ultimate glory and goodness of this podcast, is that once you find out who I am and who's coach for coach, you're going to be, I hope you're going to be like, wow, I want to aspire to be like him someday. I want to have his energy. I want to have his passion. I want to have his desire. Now, I can't really put that in perspective on maybe what you're wanting your desire to be like for whatever situation that you might want to be in, or that you are currently in and you maybe want to get out of it. Those are the type of different scenarios I want to give you. Say you're struggling in a marriage, say you're struggling in a relationship, say you're struggling at getting up and going to work every day. Those are the different things we want to discuss Those are the things that we want to give you this safe space to come and express and talk about. And it's all walks of life. This is teenagers. This is grown adults. For whoever could be listening, all walks of life, all levels of ages could be listening. I've on my private podcast, I had several middle-aged adults reach out to me and said, "Oh, well, that's a fantastic episode. Emotionally, I took this from it. Physically, I took this from it." So it's really quite a inspiring thing to see that a simple voice, or what I feel is a simple voice, has such an impact. And I really have yet to learn why my voice, or why my passion, or why my desire has such an impact. And I think over the last 8 years of me being consistent and winning has really shown me that, if you give me 12 people, I can make them win, or want to have the desire to win. And I still struggle with that myself of how am I doing this? What am I doing that's so special that resonates with these 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-olds, and get them wanting to win for the ultimate goal and play together on a team. I really hope this first show has found you well. I hope this first show can bring you back, and I hope the first show can get you to get your own journal, your own notebook, and let's just take notes together. Let's sit down weekly and learn and figure out each other and figure out ourselves and figure out what we want to do with our future. Um, we all have quite a long time to live, and there's a lot going on in the world of 2026, and I can't wait to open and grow within a new journey here on Golden Sky Radio. So I want to wrap this up today and let you know, and thank you for listening, and thank you for coming out tonight, and just giving me 30 minutes of your day. And I hope to come back next week and just be as exhilarating as I can, and maybe we'll think of our first topic of what we're going to talk about next week, and maybe I can post some early things on social media and kind of get you guys involved and get you guys excited on more of what is coach, and what coach is going to bring to the table. And I really hope to leave just a slight impact here on the Golden Sky Radio. You may not take home everything. You may not write down every single note. You may not understand all 15 points I bring to you. Just that one. If I can just come on here and change your outlook on one thing, I've done my job here. I've done my job in this world, and I've done that countless times. Ever since I've been on this earth, and I want to continue to do that. And like I said before, I know I sound like a broken record, and I apologize for taking this time and venting and ranting, but you're not going to get that all the time. You're going to get the passionate, the drive, all that. But I just want to take the time and really thank Golden Sky Radio for reaching out to me, for giving me a chance, and then not necessarily giving me a chance at what I love to do, because this is still something new to me. I didn't think I could be a good podcaster or a good, uh, mentor, verbally. There's a lot of things that I do, one on one with different people, and different, again, walks of life, like I mentioned before. But I really didn't think that I could leave an impact, I guess, this strongly or this deeply through a microphone. So I think that's really what my new inspiration is that other people from the outside that listen to my podcast privately, that is no longer going to be actual private, because a lot of my episodes, or I guess my revamped episodes, fresh for you here on Golden Sky Radio, is just a new level of confidence for me, and that I actually have something more than I think that I realize that I do. So I really want to thank you guys as an audience for allowing me to share this experience with you, to share this journey with you. I want you guys to understand, anyone who gravitates, or anyone who can just take take home one nugget. We're a part of a team. I hope. I know Golden Sky Radio itself is a family based type of thing. They are very team orientated. They are very team related. It's never about them. It's never been about them. And I really hope we can just grab our audience and reel you in like a fishing pole, and really, just learn from each other. I think that's the most important thing we're going to do here, on the Inner Champions podcast through Golden Sky Radio, is just gravitate to each other, just become a hopefully close knit family, a close knit community. Learn from each other, learn from each other's experiences, and just really, just learn together, because there's no I in team. I want to wrap things up today and let you guys know. Thank you for listening to the Inner Champions podcast here on Golden Sky Radio. We'll catch you in the coming weeks with a new episode of not Who Coaches, because I think you found that out today, but where this is going to go. And I'm very excited. I'm very humbled. Thanks for listening to the Inner Champions podcast right here on Golden Sky Radio.